I trusted her with everything, my secrets, my insecurities, my boyfriend. That was my first mistake. They say to keep your friends close and your enemies closer. But what do you do when your best friend becomes your worst enemy? My name is Maya. I'm 28 years old. And 3 years ago, I learned the hardest lesson of my life. The person sleeping on your couch, eating your food, and crying on your shoulder might be the same person trying to destroy your life. This is the story of how my best friend of 10 years betrayed me in the worst way possible. How she tried to take everything from me. And how karma served her a justice so perfect, I couldn't have planned it better myself. By the end of this story, she lost her job, her reputation, her relationship, and every friend she ever had. And me? I'm living my best life. But let me start from the beginning, because you need to understand just how deep this betrayal went. Grab something to drink. Get comfortable. Because this is going to be a wild ride. For 10 years, I thought I knew everything about Jessica. Turns out, I didn't know her at all. Let me paint you a picture of who we were. Jessica and I met freshman year of college. We were randomly assigned as roommates, and somehow we just clicked. We were inseparable from day one. She was the outgoing one, the life of the party, the girl who could walk into any room and own it. She had this magnetic personality that drew people in. I was more reserved, the planner, the responsible one, the friend who made sure everyone got home safely after a night out. We balanced each other perfectly, or so I thought. After college, we moved to Chicago together, got a 2-bedroom apartment in Lincoln Park. We were living the dream, two best friends conquering the city, building our careers, living our 20s to the fullest. But here's what I didn't see coming. Jessica was jealous. Of me. And that jealousy was about to turn toxic. See, while Jessica was the social butterfly, I was the one who actually had my life together. I had a stable job in marketing at a great company. I was getting promoted, making good money. I had a loving boyfriend, Daniel, who I'd been with for 2 years. Jessica bounced from job to job. She was always between opportunities, which really meant she'd get fired for showing up late, calling in sick too often, or drama with co-workers. She went through boyfriends like I went through coffee, quickly and without much thought. None of her relationships lasted more than a few months. But I never judged her. She was my best friend. I supported her through every job loss, every breakup, every crisis. I covered her rent when she was short. I let her borrow my clothes. I was there for her 3 a.m. crying sessions. I would have done anything for her. And that loyalty? She used it against me. Looking back now, I can see the red flags I ignored, the subtle digs disguised as jokes. Must be nice to have a job that actually pays well. Your boyfriend is so great. I wish I could find someone who wasn't a loser. The way she'd flirt with Daniel right in front of me, then laugh it off as just being friendly. The times I'd catch her going through my phone when she thought I wasn't looking. The way she'd copy everything I did, my style, my hobbies, even the way I talked. But somehow make it seem like I was copying her. But I made excuses. She was going through a hard time. She was just insecure. She didn't mean anything by it. God, I was naive. Everything changed 6 months before my life imploded. Jessica lost another job. This time she was fired from a retail position for stealing, though she claimed it was a misunderstanding. She couldn't make rent. She was about to be evicted. What did I do? I let her move into my boyfriend Daniel's and my spare bedroom. That decision nearly destroyed my life. Within 2 weeks of moving in, Jessica had already started her campaign to take over my life. I just didn't know it yet. It started small. She'd accidentally answer my phone when Daniel called. "Oh, Maya's in the shower. I'll tell her you called." She'd wear my clothes without asking, not just borrowing, but actually claiming them as hers. "I bought this months ago, remember?" She started working out with Daniel when I was at work. "We're just being healthy together. You should join us." She'd rearrange our apartment, throw out my things, redecorate. "I'm just trying to help make the place nicer." Every time I brought up a concern, she'd cry and play the victim. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to be helpful. I feel so worthless already, and now you're mad at me too. Daniel would take her side. Maya, she's going through a hard time. Can't you cut her some slack? But it got worse. So much worse. Jessica started sabotaging me at work. I'd mentioned in passing that I was up for a promotion, that my boss was impressed with my work on a big campaign, that I had a review coming up. 2 weeks later, my boss called me into her office. Someone had sent anonymous emails to HR about me. The emails claimed I was lying on my timesheets, that I was taking credit for other people's work, that I'd been bad-mouthing colleagues, that I'd been using company resources for personal projects. All lies. Complete fabrications. But they were detailed enough to trigger an investigation. My promotion was put on hold. I was under scrutiny. My reputation was damaged. I was devastated. And who was there to comfort me? Jessica. Oh my God, Maya, that's terrible. Who would do that to you? She hugged me while I cried, made me tea, told me everything would be okay. I didn't find out until months later that she was the one who sent those emails. From a burner email account. Using details I'd told her in confidence. But the worst betrayal was still coming. One Friday night, I was supposed to go out with some work friends. Last minute, one of them got sick, so the plans were cancelled. I decided to surprise Daniel and Jessica with takeout from our favorite Thai place. They'd both been so supportive during my work drama. I wanted to do something nice. I got home around 8 p.m. The apartment was quiet. Too quiet. Daniel's car was in the parking lot. So was Jessica's. I walked in with bags of food, calling out, "Surprise, I brought dinner." No response. I heard music coming from the bedroom. Our bedroom, Daniel's and mine. I opened the door, and there they were, Daniel and Jessica, in my bed. For a moment, time stopped. My brain couldn't process what my eyes were seeing. It didn't make sense. This couldn't be real. But it was. Jessica saw me first. Her eyes went wide. She grabbed the sheet, covering herself. Daniel turned, his face going pale. Maya. The Thai food bags hit the floor. I didn't even feel them leave my hands. I just stood there, frozen, while my boyfriend and my best friend scrambled to cover themselves, to find their clothes, to come up with an explanation that could possibly make this okay. There was no explanation. But what Jessica said next, that's what broke me. It just happened, Maya. We didn't mean for this to happen. I laughed, actually laughed, a harsh, bitter sound I didn't recognize as my own voice. It just happened. How long? Silence. How long? Daniel looked at the floor. 3 months. 3 months. 3 months of lying to my face. Of sleeping in the same apartment as them while they carried on behind my back. Of me covering her rent, feeding her, supporting her, while she was fucking my boyfriend. But then Jessica said something that made everything click into place. Honestly, Maya, he was never really yours. We have a connection you and he never had. And let's be real, I'm better for him than you ever were. The mask dropped, completely. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't a mistake. This was calculated, deliberate. This was her plan all along. Everything made sense now. The constant flirting, the working out together, the late-night talks when I was asleep, the way she dressed around him, the way she laughed at all his jokes. She hadn't just betrayed me. She'd been trying to take my life piece by piece, and she thought she'd won. "Get out," I said, my voice eerily calm. "Both of you, get out of my apartment." "Maya, this is my place too," Daniel started. "Your name isn't on the lease, mine is. You have 1 hour to get your shit and leave before I call the police and report you for trespassing." I looked at Jessica. My best friend of 10 years, the person I'd trusted more than anyone. "You have 30 minutes. But Maya, where am I supposed to go? I don't have anywhere." "That sounds like a you problem. Clock's ticking." I walked out of my own bedroom and called my sister. I told her what happened. She was at my apartment in 20 minutes. By the time she arrived, Daniel and Jessica were throwing their things into bags, arguing with each other in hushed whispers. I didn't say another word to them. They left. Together. Because of course they did. And I collapsed on my living room floor and cried harder than I'd ever cried in my life. The next few weeks were the darkest of my life. But they were also when I started to see who people really were. The investigation at work wrapped up. They found no evidence of wrongdoing because there was none. My promotion came through. My boss even apologized for doubting me. I blocked Daniel and Jessica on everything, deleted every photo, removed every trace of them from my life. But I couldn't escape them entirely, because they were everywhere. They'd gone public with their relationship immediately, posted couple photos on social media, changed their relationship statuses. The whole nauseating performance. Mutual friends reached out, some to check on me, others to tell me they'd seen this coming. Thanks for the warning, guys. A few took their side, said I was being dramatic and should just be happy for them. I cut those people off too. But here's what Jessica didn't count on. The truth always comes out. Our mutual friends started comparing notes. Jessica had been telling different stories to different people. To some, she said I'd given her permission to date Daniel because I was planning to break up with him anyway. To others, she claimed Daniel and I were basically already broken up, and she was just being there for him. To others still, she said I'd been emotionally abusive to both of them, and they'd found comfort in each other. None of it was true. And people started to notice the inconsistencies. Meanwhile, Jessica had moved in with Daniel, into his tiny studio apartment that he could barely afford. She still didn't have a job. So Daniel was supporting both of them. On his mediocre salary, I heard through the grapevine that they were fighting constantly. About money, about space, about her lack of employment. And that's when karma started warming up. I didn't do anything, didn't plot revenge, didn't spread rumors, didn't try to sabotage them. I just focused on healing, on therapy, on rebuilding my life, on surrounding myself with people who actually loved me. And karma handled the rest. 4 months after I kicked them out, Jessica's life started crumbling. And I had a front row seat. It started with Daniel. Turns out, the connection Jessica thought they had. It didn't survive the reality of living together in cramped quarters with no money. Daniel discovered what I'd known for years. Jessica was exhausting. She was messy. She was irresponsible. She didn't contribute financially. She didn't clean. She just took. And when she wasn't getting what she wanted, she was mean. The flirty, fun Jessica he'd fallen for. That was an act. The real Jessica was bitter, jealous, and cruel. 3 months into living together, Daniel cheated on Jessica. Ironic, right? She found out when a woman messaged her on Instagram, with screenshots, photos, the whole 9 yards. Jessica was devastated. She called our mutual friends, crying, looking for sympathy. She got none. You're upset he cheated. Really, Jessica? Really? People remembered what she'd done to me, and they had no patience for her victim routine. She tried to call me. I didn't answer. She sent me a long text message. Maya, I know we haven't talked, but I really need a friend right now. Daniel cheated on me, and I have no one to talk to. I know I hurt you, but can we please talk? I blocked her number without responding. But karma wasn't done. Jessica and Daniel broke up. Messy, dramatic, public breakup. Lots of social media posts, lots of mutual friends being forced to take sides. Jessica had to move out. And guess what? She couldn't afford rent anywhere on her own because she still didn't have a job. She tried to move back in with her parents. They said no. They'd warned her about what she did to me. They were ashamed of her. She ended up moving in with some girl she barely knew into a tiny room in a sketchy neighborhood. Meanwhile, my life was getting better. I got another promotion at work. I started dating someone new, someone kind, honest, and secure. I bought my own condo. I reconnected with old friends. I started therapy and worked through the betrayal trauma. I was thriving. And then, the universe delivered the final blow to Jessica. Remember those anonymous emails she sent to my work trying to sabotage me? She got sloppy. She'd used a burner email account, yes, but she'd accessed it from her phone. And her phone was on my Wi-Fi, which kept logs. My IT-savvy sister helped me trace the emails back to Jessica. We had proof. I could have pressed charges, could have sued her, could have sent the evidence to every job she applied to. But I didn't, because by that point, karma had already destroyed her life more thoroughly than I ever could. She'd lost her best friend, me, her boyfriend, Daniel, her living situation, couldn't afford rent, her reputation, everyone knew what she'd done, her friend group, no one trusted her, her family's respect, they were ashamed, her self-respect, she knew what she'd become, and I didn't have to lift a finger. The universe handled it all. 2 years after everything exploded, I ran into Jessica at a coffee shop. I almost didn't recognize her. She looked tired, worn down, older than her 28 years. She was alone, hunched over a laptop, wearing sweatpants and a hoodie, no makeup, hair in a messy bun. A far cry from the polished, put-together girl who used to spend an hour getting ready just to go to the grocery store. Our eyes met. I could have walked away, pretended I didn't see her, but I didn't. I walked over to her table. "Maya," she said, her voice small. "Hi." "Jessica." Awkward silence. Then she started crying, right there, in the middle of Starbucks. "I'm so sorry," she sobbed. "I'm so sorry. I was jealous. I was bitter. I wanted what you had, and I convinced myself I deserved it more than you. I ruined everything. I ruined your life. I ruined my life. I ruined everything." Part of me wanted to feel vindicated, to feel satisfaction seeing her broken down like this. But mostly, I just felt nothing. "You didn't ruin my life, Jessica. You tried. But I didn't let you." I sat down across from her. "You want to know the difference between you and me? When bad things happened to you, I was there. I supported you. I lifted you up. When good things happened to me, you tore me down. You couldn't stand to see me happy." She nodded, tears streaming down her face. I know. I was so insecure, so jealous. I hated myself and I took it out on you, the person who loved me most." "Do you want to know what happened to me after you tried to destroy my life?" I asked. She looked up, mascara running down her cheeks. "I got promoted, twice. I'm a senior manager now. I bought a condo. I met someone amazing who treats me like gold. I'm in therapy, and I'm healthier than I've ever been. I have real friends who actually love me." I leaned forward. "You tried to take my life. Instead, you lost yours. And I didn't have to do anything except focus on myself and let karma handle you." More silence. "I don't forgive you, Jessica. I don't think I ever will. What you did was calculated, cruel. You didn't just betray me once, you did it every single day for months while smiling in my face." "I know," she whispered, "but I'm also not going to carry hate for you around anymore. It's not worth my energy. You're not worth my energy." I stood up. "I hope you figure your life out, Jessica. I hope you learn to stop destroying the people who love you. I hope you get help for whatever's broken inside you." "Maya, wait." I looked down at her one last time. "Goodbye, Jessica." I walked out of that coffee shop, got in my car, and drove home to my beautiful condo, where my boyfriend was making dinner and my rescue dog was waiting to greet me. I never looked back. So what happened to Jessica after that coffee shop encounter? I don't know, and I don't care. Last I heard, she'd moved to a different city. Started over. Maybe she learned from her mistakes, maybe she didn't. It's not my problem anymore. What I do know is this. The best revenge isn't plotting and scheming. It's living well, it's healing. It's becoming the best version of yourself, while the person who tried to destroy you destroys themselves instead. Jessica wanted my life. She tried to take my boyfriend, my home, my job, my happiness. She got none of it. Because you can't steal someone's life when they won't let you. If you're going through something similar, if someone you trusted has betrayed you, I need you to hear this. You will survive. You will heal. And karma will handle the rest. Don't waste your energy on revenge. Don't let them see you break. Focus on you. Build yourself back up. Surround yourself with real love. The people who betray you will get what's coming to them. The universe has a way of balancing the scales. My name is Maya. My best friend tried to destroy my life. Karma destroyed hers instead, and I'm living proof that sometimes the best revenge is no revenge at all. If this story resonated with you, drop a comment. Share your own experience with friendship betrayal. Let's remind each other that we're not alone, and that karma is real. Subscribe to Twisted Hearts for more stories of betrayal, toxic relationships, and the karma that follows. New videos 3 to 4 times per week. Real people, real betrayals, real karma. Until next time, remember that loyalty is everything. Choose your friends wisely. And trust that what goes around always comes around.